What up, Raflitos? Welcome back to my channel. We are back on the east bank of Demerara. Take a look at the new Demerara River Bridge. Here we are at Eccles. We're walking towards Peters Hall. It's about 6:30 on a Thursday morning, Thursday the 15th of May, 2025. And we want to see how far the bridge has come in the last 2 weeks since we were here. So this is what it looks like now. You can see they have started to build the platform. So that's the high span section, the tower above the high span section. As you can see, they're starting to extend. They have started to extend that platform. So yes, guys, we're approaching Bagotstown. And again, you can see from this vantage point, the bridge, the platform that is under the tower for that high span section is already being extended. You should be able to see some of the cables. So the reason why they're able to build that platform out and extend it is because they're already applying the cables to the platform. And the other tower holding up the high span section, there it is. You can see the top of the tower above the roof of a building here in Eccles. We're in Eccles. There you can see the top of that tower on the high span section. So it's been 2 weeks since the last time we were in this neck of the woods. This is the East Bank Public Road, East Bank of Demerara. We're about 3 miles out of Georgetown at this point. The last time we took a look at this bridge, 2 weeks ago, they had just started to add cables, and by my estimate, they were about 3 weeks, at least 3 weeks away from reaching the riverbank, extending the platform out to the riverbank. That is the ramp out to the riverbank. We're going to see if my prediction held. But we also since then took a look at the mouth of the Demerara River at Kingston and discovered that you could now see the bridge from about 5 miles away. That's about 5 or 6 miles away at the mouth of the Demerara Bridge at the mouth of the Demerara River to the Peters Hall location of the bridge. And what we could see from that point is that the west bank half of the bridge had reached at least halfway across the river. And the structure is so massive that you could see the bridge from 5 or 6 miles away. So we still have to see the west bank section, and we'll see if we can see it from Bagotstown. So let's see if we can take a look. We did actually try to take a look at it from this location once before. So let's go over there and see if we can take a look. Let's go. This is as close as we can get to the river. And that is the bridge on the west bank. So you can see a bit of the bridge on the west bank. You can also see the old Demerara Harbor Bridge. That little bump in the middle, that bump was where the boats would pass under the old Demerara Harbor Bridge. They would have to open the bridge if there were bigger ships that needed to pass. But as you can see, that is where the bridge starts on the west bank, and they've built it out all the way to the middle. See, the ramp goes, so the bridge itself goes all the way to the middle. Can't see more of it in this view. We will continue getting closer to it at Peters Hall. So we're back on the public road. This is the road from Bagotstown to Eccles, the Eccles interchange. It's now, of course, quite operational, fully operational. That's looking east. It's been raining all week. It's the rainy season now. And this is looking south along the public road. You can see the overpass section of the Demerara River Bridge, the new Demerara River Bridge, fully up, constructed, and the traffic now passes freely under the bridge, under the overpass section. The question is, how far have they completed this overpass ramp towards the riverbank? It's 2 weeks ago since the last time we were here and looked at this east bank section of the bridge, and we're going to find out today if they actually reached the riverbank. I thought it would take 3 weeks, so we'll see if they did it in 2 weeks. So here we are, guys. We're back at Peters Hall, and this is what the bridge looks like. That is a new bridge. It looks like from Peters Hall. It looks bigger. It looks massive. For the first time, it looks closer because they started to complete. Let me bring it closer so you can see what I'm talking about. It's starting to look closer to being finished. As you can see, there are the cables. You can clearly see in this picture, this view, the cables that are attached from the tower to the platform. Those cables have already been attached to both. Actually, this is the second one, the second tower over the high span section. You can see those cables already beginning to be visible, and the distance between the bridge platform, that is the platform between the two towers, that span is already beginning to close. My guess is that next time we come around here, that gap will be closed. So you'll have a complete bridge span. But this is what's happening here at Peters Hall. This is the old Demerara Harbor Bridge. It's about 6:45, 10 minutes to 7. Traffic coming towards us is coming from the west bank of the river, from the west bank, and the long line of cars is waiting to cross over to the east bank. So apparently there's just one-way traffic here on a Thursday morning, almost 7 o'clock on a Thursday morning at Peters Hall. So the new bridge, when it's open, as you can see, that is the span of the bridge that is passing above, that is overpass section above the East Bank Public Road. And when this new bridge is open, as you can see, all of this traffic will be headed across the new bridge. It'll be interesting to see what happens with the old bridge, if people are still going to use the old bridge, or if the government is still going to keep this old Demerara Harbour Bridge open. It would seem to be it's necessary to keep this bridge open because to be able to get onto the new bridge, you'd have to drive at least 2 miles away to find the on-ramp at the Heroes Highway entrance. I guess it's time for us to revisit that entrance so we can see what they're doing with it. This is the Peters Hall. That is the Peters Hall temple. This is the famous landmark building at the Peters Hall Junction. And beyond this intersection is Republic Park and the Peters Hall Masjid. But above these buildings, you can see the bridge, towers of the bridge. Yeah, man. You can see the towers of the bridge looming over this neighborhood, Peters Hall neighborhood. You can also see at 7 a.m. workmen on the bridge. So that's the overpass section. As you can see, it has been completed up to, let's see, 5 spans beyond the road, the public road. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5.5 spans have been completed beyond the public road. It's really cloudy. It's been raining all week, like I said, and it's overcast every morning. That's the pattern during the rainy season. But I can see clearly now that they have not reached the riverbank, which means that my prediction is more or less correct. 2 weeks ago, I predicted it would take at least 3 weeks to reach the riverbank. And that's the... Oh, these guys wanted me to show you their fruit stands, fresh fruits. Morning. Morning. Where y'all getting the fruits from? Where y'all getting the fruits from? Where y'all bring them from? All right. Good. So this is, these guys wanted to be on camera, wanted to see the fruit. Want me to show you the fruits that they get from all over the country. So this is the bridge. The state of completion of the bridge on Thursday, 15th of March 2025. 15th of May rather, 15th of May 2025. And this is the span, the number of spans that have to be completed between the riverbank and the current spans. About, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, there are at least 4 spans. 4 spans that have to be completed, 4 gaps to be filled between where the workers are now, where the bridge where the bridge joins the high span section at the riverbank. But as you can see, it's now one continuous ramp for about a half of a mile away. In other words, this is a very long ramp leading up to the high span, and it's going to be 2 miles from this point to the entrance, which is why I suspect the old Demerara Harbour Bridge was still probably going to be needed. Under the bridge now you can see the Princess Hotel, which is dwarfed by the bridge. At one point the Princess Hotel used to be the most massive structure in this neighborhood. Now of course it is small compared to the bridge. The bridge now dwarfs every structure in this neighborhood, in this area. And you can see, let's see, between these buildings, you can see the high span section. We're going under the bridge now to see it from the other side. But this is the view of the bridge from Peters Hall and from the public road. So this is where construction is currently at, and a number of pillars between the high span platform and the current state of construction is about 5 spans, 5 gaps to be filled. And they've been filling these spans about one every week. So the last time I was here, I was being very generous and I thought they could do it in 3 weeks. But they had about 8 spans left. And they're actually doing it at one. They're still doing it at 1 span a week now. This is looking under the bridge towards the east. That's what it looks like to the east. It's actually quite massive. You can see. It's quite massive. And the ramp is about at least half of a mile. Right, it's about half of a mile. That's where it goes. It makes a slight turn to the right at this point, as you can see. It has to make a slight right curve before it gets to the high span section. What do you think? Do you think it will take another 3 weeks to get to the bridge? In the comments below, let me know what you think about the rate of construction, the pace at which this bridge is being completed. This is what it looks like to the underside. Here, Peters Hall. They have closed the gaps between these platforms. Onto the bridge is probably a restricted area, so it's interesting to see what they do with the area under the bridge in future. But that's what's up, guys. That's what's happening in this neck of the woods. We're now heading into Providence. Take a look at the bridge from the Providence section. But this is what it looks like from the Peters Hall section of the bridge. Tell me what you think about construction so far on May 15th, 2025. We're halfway through the month of May. How long do you think it will take to complete the construction of the bridge here at Peters Hall? Share this video with friends and family around the world. Let people know what's happening in the fastest growing country in the world, Guyana. Later!